Alex Eala just turned heads with her grand entrance in Washington for the DC Open, and the tennis world can't stop talking about it. But it wasn't just the entrance that had everyone buzzing. Fresh off a historic Wimbledon run that made her the first Filipino to reach the fourth round of a Grand Slam, the 21-year-old superstar has arrived in the U.S. Capitol with something to prove. And she's not doing it alone. She's reuniting with a legend, Venus Williams. In what the tournament is calling the Dream Team, is Alex Eala about to take over the North American hardcourt swing? Washington, D.C., July 2026. The William H.G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center is buzzing with anticipation. But the real energy isn't coming from the courts yet. It's coming from the arrival of one woman, Alex Eala. Fresh off a historic Wimbledon run that made her the first Filipino to reach the fourth round of a Grand Slam in the Open era, the 21-year-old has touched down in the U.S. Capital with momentum that few players in the world can match. And the tennis world is taking notice. Her grand entrance has turned heads for all the right reasons. After a brief but emotional trip back to Manila, where she was honored with a presidential citation at Malacañang Palace and hosted a fan meet that drew thousands, Eala is back on American soil. But she didn't arrive quietly. Within hours of landing, she was spotted on the practice courts. And she wasn't alone. Standing across the net from her was Venus Williams, the 46-year-old legend, the 7-time Grand Slam singles champion, the 14-time Grand Slam doubles champion, the woman who has inspired generations of tennis players around the world, and now Eala's doubles partner. The DC Open organizers shared a video of their practice session on social media, and it exploded. The post quickly gained traction, amassing more than 50,000 views and over 2,000 likes within 5 hours of being published. The caption said it all, inspiring multiple generations. But what made Eala's arrival truly remarkable wasn't just who she was practicing with. It was how she looked doing it. A Nike ambassador through and through, Eala stepped onto the Washington practice courts wearing the Nike Vapor 3 in pink smoke. A vibrant, eye-catching colorway that matched her all-purple, cropped polo shirt and shorts ensemble. She's known to wear the model in most of her matches, often changing up the colorway from lemon twist to summit white and even lab green. But for her grand entrance in Washington, she chose something that screamed confidence. And that confidence is exactly what has made her a global phenomenon. Andy Roddick, the former U.S. Open champion and now a prominent tennis podcaster, couldn't stop praising the Filipina sensation. "Eala Mania is fun," he said on his podcast. "I'm sorry, when you have watch parties in arenas around your country for a fourth-round match, I'm in." Imagine that for a moment. The Philippines, a country of 127 million people, filling arenas to watch a tennis match. That's what Alex Eala has created. A movement, a phenomenon, a nation that finally has a world-class athlete to rally behind. I don't want to hear any of that be like, "I don't care, stop talking." No. This is a movement she is single-handedly creating. A movement of a sect of tennis fandom that largely didn't exist a couple of years ago. "Thank you," Roddick emphasized. And now that movement has arrived in Washington. What would it feel like to carry the hopes of 127 million people on your shoulders and still walk onto the court with a smile? For Alex Eala, it's just another day. They called it the Dream Team. And when Alex Eala and Venus Williams step onto the court together in Washington, that's exactly what it feels like. The tournament organizers didn't hold back when they announced the partnership, Dream Team. "Venus Williams and Alex Eala are locked in for doubles in DC," they wrote on social media. And the tennis world couldn't agree more. 2 generations, 2 cultures, 2 women who represent everything that makes tennis beautiful. This isn't their first dance together, and it won't be their last. Eala and Williams first joined forces at the Bad Homburg Open in Germany last month, a grass court tournament that would become the foundation of something special. They made it to the quarterfinals, defeating Alexandra Osborne and Catherine Harrison 6-3, 6-4 in just 1 hour and 10 minutes before falling to the second-seeded duo of Olivia Nichols and Teresa Mihalakova, 6-3, 6-2. But the result wasn't what mattered. The experience was. It was an incredible experience for me. Eala said in an interview with 24 Horas. Venus has such a special work ethic and such a special mindset, and for who she is so down to earth. So I just took that week to absorb everything I could absorb and learn from her. Imagine that for a moment. A 21-year-old from Quezon City who grew up watching Venus Williams on television, now standing beside her on the court, learning from her, laughing with her, competing alongside her. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I'd have the privilege of competing alongside you on court, Eala wrote on Instagram after their first partnership. Immensely grateful to learn from you. And Williams? She was just as effusive. The 46-year-old legend, a 7-time Grand Slam singles champion and 14-time Grand Slam doubles champion, called Eala her best partner. She posted on her Instagram story, "The best ride, the best tournament, the best partner." That's the thing about this partnership. It's built on genuine mutual respect. For Williams, pairing with Eala is more than just a chance to compete. It's an opportunity to mentor the next generation, to share the wisdom that comes from decades at the top of the sport, to show a young player what it takes to be a legend. And for Eala, it's a masterclass in greatness. Venus is such a trailblazer and continues to do so much and has done so much for the sport, Eala said before their first partnership. I like to say that women's tennis has been a trailblazer for women's sports, and she is a big part of why that is. Those words reveal everything about Eala's mindset. She understands that it isn't just about winning. It's about legacy, about the people who came before, about the responsibility to carry the sport forward. When the DC Open organizers released a video of the two training together, the caption read, "Inspiring multiple generations." And that's exactly what this partnership represents. Venus Williams didn't just win titles. She opened doors. She fought for equal prize money at Wimbledon. She proved that women's tennis could be just as exciting, just as powerful, just as compelling as men's. She paved the way for players like Eala to dream bigger. And now, she's standing beside her. What would it feel like to train with your childhood idol and realize she's everything you hoped she would be?
Eala doesn't just play for herself, she plays for 127 million people. And she carries them with her everywhere she goes, even on her visor. When Eala stepped onto center court at Wimbledon, the tennis world noticed something unusual. Her custom Nike visor bore a phrase in Tagalog, the language of the Philippines. It read, "Kapag lumago, hindi nahihinto." Every dream begins as a seed. Once it grows, it cannot be stopped. I think it's so sentimental to be able to wear things or to carry parts of my culture with me on court, because of course it's a huge reason as to who I am, Eala said during her Wimbledon run. And for me to be able to represent the Philippines in Wimbledon, I guess, and in the biggest stages in the world, it means so much to me. That's the thing about Eala. She never forgets where she came from. She wears the sampaguita flower, the national flower of the Philippines, incorporated into her Nike gear. The sports brand presented her with a sampaguita-inspired shirt and hair tie during a visit to their headquarters in Oregon. They designed a ping-pong table with images of the flower as a tribute to Eala. Every detail carries meaning, every accessory tells a story. And when she speaks to her Filipino fans, she addresses them in Tagalog. "Salamat sa pagpuyat, mga kababayan. Uwi na tayo," she told the crowd after a victory in Dubai, thanking them for staying up late to watch her match. The connection between Eala and her people is unlike anything tennis has ever seen. When she returned to Manila after Wimbledon, she was greeted as a national hero. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. hosted a homecoming reception at Malacañang Palace, where he presented her with a presidential citation. He praised her not just for her success, but for the grace with which she handled it. "You have brought so much pride to the Philippines, to the Filipinos, and not only because of your success, but also because of the grace with which you handled that success," Marcos said. "Because the way you play and the way you comport yourself makes us proud. Because you show the greatest, best qualities of Filipinos, so you remind us why we are a great race." Imagine hearing those words from the president of your country. Eala, who admitted she normally doesn't get nervous speaking in public, confessed she was unusually nervous that night. "Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I would be having dinner here at Malacañang Palace next to you and be receiving such kind and genuine words," she said. "I feel very seen. Hearing that come from you, I feel like all the hard work that I've done is seen. All the hours that aren't on TV are seen and validated and appreciated. Those words reveal everything about Alex Eala's character. She doesn't seek fame, she seeks meaning. She understands that her success isn't just hers. It belongs to every Filipino who stayed up until 3 a.m. to watch her play. Every child who sees themselves in her. Every person who dreams of a better future. Lubos kong ipinagmamalaki ang paging Filipino, she declared. I carry the flag with me wherever I go, and I am a firm believer that where you come from is a big part of who you are. I promise that I will continue to represent the Philippines in the best way that I possibly can. That promise now follows her to Washington. The DC Open is her first tournament on the North American hardcourt swing, and she's carrying more than just her racket. She's carrying the hopes of a nation that has fallen in love with her. What would it feel like to know that 127 million people are watching your every move and still walk onto the court with confidence? For Alex Eala, it's not a burden, it's a privilege.
The hard courts of Washington, D.C. are ready, the stage is set, and Alex Eala is about to begin the most important stretch of her career. The North American hard court swing is here, and for Eala, it's an opportunity like no other. The Mubadala DC Open runs from July 27th to August 2, 2026 at the William H.G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center. It's a WTA 500 event, the highest level of tournament outside the Grand Slams and the WTA 1000s. The field is stacked with the very best players in the world. And Eala is right in the middle of it all. She's the 9th highest ranked player in the singles draw. That's a remarkable achievement for a player who just a year ago was fighting just to get into main draws. The top 4 seeds, Jessica Pegula, Alina Svitolina, Naomi Osaka, and Diana Schneider, will receive first-round byes. The remaining top 8 include Anna Kalinskaya, Madison Keys, defending champion Leylah Fernandez, and Katie Boulter. But Eala is just outside that elite group, and she's hungry to break in. Her ranking stands at a career-high number 28, with 1,666 points. But here's the part of this story that should excite every Filipino fan watching. Eala is defending just 70 ranking points for the entirety of the North American swing. That's an almost unimaginable advantage for a player of her caliber. What does that mean, in plain English? Every point she earns in Washington, Toronto, Cincinnati, and at the U.S. Open will be pure gain. No points to defend, no pressure to maintain last year's results. Just opportunity. Just room to climb. Just the chance to achieve something truly historic. A quarterfinal finish at the DC Open would give her 108 ranking points, instantly eclipsing the 70 she earned during last year's entire North American campaign. A semifinal finish would give her 195 points, a runner-up finish 325, and a championship finish would give her a massive 500 points. The margins are razor-thin, just 163 points separate world no. 28 from world number to 24th. A single deep run in Washington could vault Eala into the top 25 or even the top 20 for the first time in her career, and the timing couldn't be more perfect. The U.S. Open seeding cutoff is August 24. To secure a seed in the final major of the year, Eala needs to stay in the top 32. She's already there. But a seed in the top 16? Top 8. Those are possibilities that suddenly seem within reach. But Eala isn't thinking about rankings. Not yet. I do not have a specific round where I say, oh, I really need to be at this stage, she had said before Wimbledon. The way I approach any tournament is to take it match by match and round by round. I want to get as far as I possibly can. The ultimate goal is to win. I am thinking round per round. That mindset has carried her through every obstacle. The draw ceremony is set for July 25, just days before the main draw begins. Eala will know her path to the final. She'll know which top seed she might face. She'll know exactly what stands between her and history. And she'll be ready. Because Alex Eala has already beaten the best. Since the 2025 Miami Open, she has defeated Madison Keys, Iga Swiatek, Jasmine Paolini, Coco Gauff, Elena Rybakina, and Alina Svitolina. She has beaten Grand Slam champions. She has beaten world number ones. She has beaten the very best the sport has to offer. The DC Open field is elite. But Eala has proven she belongs in that elite company. She's the 9th highest ranked player in the draw. She's playing alongside Venus Williams in doubles. She's carrying the hopes of 127 million Filipinos. But for Eala, it's just another day at the office. The North American swing is her opportunity, her moment. her chance to prove that everything that came before was just the beginning. What would you do if you knew everything you'd ever worked for was finally within reach? The practice courts of the William H.G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center have witnessed something special this week. But it's not just the tennis that has everyone talking. It's the way Eala carries herself, like a champion who already knows she belongs. The video that tournament organizers shared on social media captured it perfectly. Eala and Venus Williams hitting together, laughing together, pushing each other to be better. Within 5 hours of being published, the post had amassed more than 50,000 views and over 2,000 likes. The caption said it all. Inspiring multiple generations. And that's exactly what this moment represents. A 21-year-old from Quezon City standing beside a 46-year-old legend who has won 14 Grand Slam doubles titles. 2 generations, 2 cultures. 2 women who have both defied expectations in their own ways. Williams, who fought for equal prize money and paved the way for women's tennis. Eala, who has become a global phenomenon from a country that never had a tennis superstar before. The DC Open is Eala's first tournament of the North American hard court swing. It runs from July 27 to August 2 in Washington, before she heads to the National Bank Open in Toronto from August 1 to 13, and the Cincinnati Open from August 8 to 23. Then comes the final Grand Slam of the year, the U.S. Open in New York. But Eala isn't looking that far ahead. Not yet. I do not have a specific round where I say, "Oh, I really need to be at this stage," she once said. The way I approach any tournament is to take it match by match and round by round. That mindset has carried her through every obstacle. And now, as she prepares to step onto the court in Washington, she carries something even more precious. The pride of a nation that has fallen in love with her. I think you have to give yourself grace while also being brave, Eala has said. Those words define her approach to life in tennis. Grace in victory, grace in defeat, and the bravery to keep pushing forward no matter what. The DC Open field is stacked. World number 3, Jessica Pegula, number 10, Elina Svitolina, no. 13, Naomi Osaka, defending champion Leylah Fernandez and Madison Keys are all in the singles draw. The doubles competition features top seeds Sara Irani, a 10-time Grand Slam doubles champion, and defending champion Shuai Zhang. But Eala has beaten the best before. She defeated Iga Swiatek on center court. She took down Elena Rybakina and Elina Svitolina back-to-back in Berlin. She has proven that she belongs among the elite. And now, with a career-high ranking of number 28 in momentum, unlike anything she's ever experienced, she's ready for the next challenge. Her grass court season was nothing short of remarkable. A title in Birmingham, a semifinal in Berlin, a historic round of 16 finish at Wimbledon, and a stunning 89% of the vote in the WTA's Star of the Swing online poll, beating Wimbledon champion Linda Noskova and runner-up Karolina Muchova combined. But Eala didn't do it alone. She carries the Philippines with her everywhere she goes. The sampaguita flower on her Nike gear, the Tagalog phrases on her visor, the weight of 127 million people who see themselves in her. I think you have to give yourself grace while also being brave, she said, and grace is exactly what she brings to every moment. We're very proud of where we come from, Eala once said. We have a very strong sense of community. You can see it when someone does well. We're a community that uplifts each other. We're quite positive people, and when positive things happen to other Filipinos around the world, I think we just kind of share the enjoyment and share the happiness. That's the Eala effect. She doesn't just win for herself. She wins for everyone who has ever believed in her. She wins for the little girls with ruffled socks and light-up shoes. She wins for a nation that finally has a world-class athlete to rally behind. And now, as she steps onto the court in Washington, the world will be watching. What will she do next? Will she turn heads again? Will she make history once more? One thing is certain, with Eala, the best is always yet to come. And that's something the tennis world is just beginning to realize.